Hello! Got a new video to show you today for a cool paintball machining item. It's this here. Call this the Edge Mag. This is a fairly unique marker body design that I came up with a couple years ago for a different product line like this. This is the AxePro version, right? So I don't like to show the same video of just random machining over and over and over. I like it to be something different and something unique. And that's why I'm making this video right now, because this is a very unique component for me, because it's one of the few pieces that I actually make on a 5-axis machine for the paintball industry. We use 5-axis for a lot of things, but it's mostly related to more complicated parts, not paintball parts, right? So that's where this comes into play, because this is actually made 5-axis machine. So in addition to this edge body, we also make a couple other bodies for Automags. This is one, I call this the Pyromag. This is the classic Nummech design, which just uses a lot of these fire spines that wrap all around. It's pretty cool because it's asymmetrical, right? We make also these, we call this the Necromag. This is the famed marker body that was modeled after skeleton bone. So high detail, but when it comes to the manufacturing, this is actually pretty easy to do on just a regular 3-axis or 4-axis machine, just like the one you see behind me. All of these bodies are made on the same system. It's just a 4-axis or maybe even a 3-axis if the need arises. But with this body here, there's something unique about it, and that's all those flat surfaces you see. So because it has all these flat surfaces, I'm actually able to make it a little bit easier on a 5-axis machine, which again is something that's unique for me inside of the paintball. So let's get everyone on the same footing. Why is this done on a 5-axis mill? Traditionally, with just about any other type of marker body, even these like this that are very detailed, ultimately what it boils down to is just tipping it to one side and then cutting it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, tipping it to the left side and cutting it back and forth, and then maybe tipping it up to the top and doing the top. But ultimately you're just talking about putting it in the machine steady and just cutting it. We call this a scallop, back and forth, back and forth. So the unique aspect about these bodies is that since they're composed of nothing but flat surfaces, I'm able to take a flat end mill like that and just cut straight across. So there's a whole lot of positioning for the marker and then cutting, and then repositioning to the other side and then cutting, and then repositioning to the other side and then cutting. And you'll see that in the video. Really the most interesting part of this machining video is the roughing process, since that's where all the sweet chips start flying around. So the video will show mostly roughing and then a little bit of finishing toward the end. So you may be asking yourself, do I use the 5-axis mill for anything in paintball besides for this? And really the short answer is no, I don't. Occasionally we use it for prototyping and sometimes for other unique pieces. But the fact of the matter is it's just really not cost effective for the way I do things, and I prefer to do it a more basic method. Generally I prefer to use the 5-axis for larger items, and I'll probably throw up a couple clips just to show you. Really though, those larger components need that accuracy that the machine gives you, and so it's the perfect example of the right machine for the right job. But all things being equal, trying to make an entire marker body or frame on a single 5-axis mill would definitely have some advantages compared to how I do it. Although personally I have some other goals, so I don't do it that way. Okay, so enough about the theory. Let's talk about the setup process of the actual cut. I've already made videos that show the body fixturing system that I use for other markers, such as these here. This is an autococker body. But basically, all of our marker bodies are created using the same fixtures. And they use something like this. I call this the upright. What this does is it goes in between the body blank, which you can see here. This is a big giant 2x2 body blank, which gets pinned like that. And then the body gets bolted on from the bottom using some cap screws. So then I take this assembly and I just plop it into the machine. And then it's off to the races. So really, you can tell the simplicity of the system is very nice because it's completely modular. I can take the Pyromag bodies that I keep showing you. These are made on the machine behind me using a 4-axis with the exact same mounting system, just like that. So this goes into the 4-axis machine, or the body blank here goes into the 5-axis machine, and I end up with the same thing in the end. And so here is a finished body as it comes out of the machine. You can see the little parallel lines from the end mill cut. So we go through and we just clean it up real quick before sending it off to anodizing. Some of the edges are a little sharp, and so again, just a quick run through the tumbler, we'll clean that up. And so when it comes back from anodizing, it looks like this. This is not polished per se, it's more like just a machine finish, but it's pretty good. If you wanted to have this custom anodized by a paintball shop on your own, then you can do that. You sell the raw bodies as well, at least as long as we have them available. But that's pretty nice. I particularly like the fact that it's asymmetrical from left to right. The cuts are very similar on both sides, but it's not identical. And obviously with these Automag bodies, these are completely asymmetrical, especially on the back from left to right. That's something that I really like to do because it's kind of an extra added detail. Not all the bodies we make are that way. These Necromags are mostly symmetrical from side to side, but the high level of detail makes up for the fact that they're identical that way. But really that's it though. Finished bodies in front of your face. So I'm going to splice in the GoPro footage and you'll see this thing get made. If you have any questions, then let me know. I'm trying to make these videos a little bit more accessible for everybody, whether or not you come from the paintball world or the machining world. So some of it's going to be kind of blasted through. But hopefully, at least, regardless of what world you come from, hopefully you'll be slightly entertained by it, because it's pretty cool to see something like this go from a block of metal to a finished piece in the end. But that's it.